When we hear the word noise, we usually think of loud sounds, traffic, people shouting, a dog barking. But in communication, noise means something else. It's not just about sound. It's about distraction, misunderstanding, and interference. Noise is anything that gets in the way of the message. Anything that blocks the connection between one person and another. Imagine this. You're talking to a friend. You're trying to explain something important. But they're on their phone, scrolling through social media. They nod, maybe say, yeah, but you can tell they're not really there. That's noise. Not the sound of the phone, but the distraction it causes. It breaks the link between you. Now let's say you're in a classroom. The teacher is explaining something, but you're worried about something else. Maybe you didn't sleep well. Maybe you're thinking about a fight with a friend. You hear the words, but your mind is somewhere else. That's internal noise, your own thoughts interfering with what's being said. There are many types of noise in communication. Let's talk about a few. There are many types of noise in communication. Let's explore a few of them. 1. Physical noise. This is the most obvious kind. It's the background sounds that make it hard to hear or focus. A loud air conditioner, a crying baby, a buzzing phone, they all count. Physical noise is easy to notice. But sometimes, we ignore how much it affects communication. In a noisy environment, people start to speak louder, repeat themselves, or even give up trying to communicate at all. But physical noise is just the surface. 2. Psychological noise. This one is deeper. Psychological noise is everything that happens inside your mind. Thoughts, emotions, stress, assumptions. Maybe you had a bad day. You're angry, tired, or anxious. Even if someone is speaking clearly, your brain is too busy to really hear them. Or maybe you think you already know what they're going to say. You stop listening halfway. You assume. That's psychological noise. It's powerful. It creates distance between people, even when they're standing face to face. 3. Semantic noise. This happens when the message is misunderstood because of the words being used. Maybe someone is using complicated vocabulary. Maybe their accent is unfamiliar. Maybe the words have different meanings in different cultures. Think about the word, okay. In one tone, it means agreement. In another, it sounds like sarcasm. Language is tricky. Even when we speak the same language, we might not understand each other. Semantic noise can turn simple conversations into confusion. 4. Cultural noise. This one shows up more often than we realize. Different cultures communicate in different ways. Some people are direct. Others are indirect. Some cultures value silence. Others feel uncomfortable with it. In some places, saying no directly is rude. In others, it's expected. If we don't understand these differences, we may misinterpret the message, or miss it completely. So what can we do? How can we reduce noise in communication? The answer isn't simple, but it starts with awareness. We need to listen with intention, not just hear words. We need to recognize when noise is present. Inside us, around us, between us. When we talk to someone, we should be present. Not distracted. Not preparing our reply while they're still speaking. Real listening is rare. But it's powerful. We also need to ask questions. Clarify. Paraphrase. Communication is not about saying everything perfectly. It's about making sure the other person understands what you meant. And that takes effort. And patience. Think about relationships. So many arguments, hurt feelings, broken friendships happen not because of what was said, but because of what was not understood. That's noise. Sometimes, the best thing we can do is slow down. Give space for silence. Let the message breathe. We're in a world full of distractions, notifications, news, pressure to reply fast, to talk more, to be everywhere at once. But real connection, it takes focus. It takes being okay with listening more than we speak. Let's look at an example. Imagine two co-workers. One gives instructions for a project, quickly, before running to the next meeting. The other hears only half of it, fills in the gaps with assumptions, and starts working. A day later, they realize the results are completely wrong. Deadlines are missed. Trust is damaged. What happened? Noise. Now imagine this instead. The first coworker takes one more minute to ask, "Can you repeat back what I just said?" Just to be sure we're on the same page. And the second says, "Sure, you mean you want this by Friday, using the new format, right?" They clarify. They align. No noise. It's a small act, but it changes everything. The more we understand noise in communication, the more we can build trust, avoid conflict, and create real understanding. It doesn't matter if we're talking to friends, family, strangers, or coworkers. Noise is always there, waiting to creep in, but we can choose to push it out. By listening, by focusing, by being patient, and most of all, by caring about what the other person is really trying to say. Because sometimes, behind the words, behind the tone, behind the awkward silence, there's a message that's trying to reach you. A feeling, a thought, a truth. Don't let noise get in the way.